don't listen to people who tell you to like choose the most logical choice or like the most safe choice. Really, like your intuition is like your internal guidance system. So always follow that and always trust yourself, and just fail forwards. Like failing is part of life and it's not a bad thing. It's bringing you closer to where you're meant to go. So yeah, and just don't take life too seriously. Life is meant to be fun.
It's the Health in the Real World podcast. It's time to start the show with Chris Janke as your host. Here to give you everything that you need when it comes to fitness strategies. We keep it simple and easy. It's your roadmap to get healthy. You don't need equipment and you don't need a gym. Just the right strategies to get you fit and trim.
Welcome to Health in the Real World. We are here today with Janke Armijo. Janke, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to be here.
So can you get everybody started with just a quick introduction as far as what you do, how you are in the health and wellness industry, and kind of what drives you to do that?
Yeah. So right now I work remotely as a Kangen water distributor, and I promote this water and hydration for people all across the world. I've been doing this job since just this past April, but I've been on my own health journey and diving into health and wellness for like the past 5 years now. So I just feel like it's my mission on earth to like promote proper hydration and health for other people. So
that's great.
yeah.
So what would be the first thing if somebody, let's say you meet somebody and they say, you know, I'm not healthy at all. What kind of direction would you guide them? What's the first thing?
Yeah, well, first I would ask, like, what are they putting in their bodies? I think a lot of people focus a lot on the food that they're eating, but no one really looks at the water they're drinking. And it's not something that we're very educated on in terms of like the tap water, like what's actually in it. And so, yeah, just letting people know that so much of why we don't feel good is because our bodies are, 75% of Americans have acidic bodies. And so like that's why when you're not feeling well, you're feeling irritable, or like your brain can't function, a lot of it is caused because you're actually just not hydrated, and it can be resolved if you just drink more water and like good quality water.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned that a lot of 75% of Americans have an acidic body. So I would imagine that would be the other half, right? So proper hydration, but also in a more alkaline state. Is that kind of the 1-2 punch?
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention, with the water I promote, it's alkalized water. So when you drink this water, it raises the pH level of your body. So it helps prevent your body from being acidic. Because, the standard American diet, it's very acidic. We eat like a lot of burgers and things that don't provide a lot of nutrition. And unless you're eating like a very plant-based diet, then you're most likely acidic. And it's harder for our bodies to be thriving and to function when when our like nervous system and our muscles aren't properly in an alkaline state.
Right. So talk about the timeline a little bit. Let's say, for example, if I realize today that, okay, I'm super dehydrated, I need to start working on this, and I start today is day one. What is kind of like, what's the timeline? Is it weeks? What can somebody watching this expect? Like, okay, I know within a couple weeks or a couple months, this shift is going to happen. What have you seen with that?
Yeah, well, as long as you're striving to drink half of your body weight in ounces. So let's say like, tomorrow you wanted to start actually drinking enough water. If you weigh like 120 pounds, then you'd want to drink 60 ounces of water a day to hydrate yourself. So yeah, just the timeline, starting tomorrow, drinking that amount of water every day. And as long as you're eating a decent diet, like within a week or so, you'll start feeling the difference in your body, and you'll just start to function more, because our bodies are 70% water. Like our brain is 90% water. And we're water is life. That is what we're composed of. So if we're not having enough water, then yeah, it like really impacts our health.
It's definitely going to affect everything, right? As far as
Yeah.
afternoon sluggishness, just brain fog, like you mentioned, quality of sleep, quality of workouts, even all that
Yeah.
stuff, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. What for you personally? I'm gonna turn the spotlight on you a little bit, Jackie. For you
Okay.
personally, what has been sort of your struggle, biggest struggle with health and wellness and fitness, and how have you
Mhm.
overcome it? Like, what kind of strategies have you used to kind of overcome that?
Hmm. Let's see. Hmm. Well, I guess this is more like overall health, but when I first transitioned to eating a plant-based diet, making sure that I was eating the right, uh, I was getting enough like protein in my diet and like supplementing with like B12 because you know when you're eating vegan, B12 is harder to eat on a plant-based diet. So
Right.
making sure that I was getting the nutrients that my body needed. And yeah, I just came down to like doing my own research online and experimenting with different foods and stuff. And I would say just by doing that, I was able to like start feeling better in my body because I had phases where I just felt like really low energy and all of that. So
Hmm.
um, I guess I would say that's has been like my biggest challenge was like transitioning to a plant-based diet and
Hmm.
like educating myself on like what my body actually needs.
So, what are your go-to protein sources on a plant-based diet for you personally? Like, what do you really prefer?
Yeah, well, I like beans a lot, like garbanzo beans, black beans, things like spinach and broccoli have protein,
Hmm.
um, peanut butter. I would say those are probably like my main sources of protein. There's also things like tofu and tempeh,
Hmm.
but I don't really eat that as much just because it's not like as natural. So yeah, I would say like beans are probably like the main source for me.
Yeah, about 10 or 12 years ago, I went vegan for about a year.
Oh,
And I think
nice.
that was the big thing that I realized, that there's obviously protein in things that we don't think there's protein in, like you mentioned, spinach. You definitely
Hmm.
need to eat more, right? Like
Yeah.
you could get, I don't know, like a little can of sardines like this big might have like 20 grams of protein. To get 20 grams of protein from spinach, you're gonna need, a
A
lot of
lot
spinach, right?
more. Yeah.
So, and I found for me personally, it was interesting because I had crazy amounts of energy. I would go to
Mm.
sleep. I would sleep for 4 hours and wake up wide awake after 4 hours of sleep. Like, I don't want
Mhm.
to sleep anymore. I don't need to sleep. I have plenty of energy. Um,
Mhm.
Lost a ton of weight. Uh, I think I lost way too much weight. I didn't have weight to lose, but
Mm.
so I can really identify with what you just said. It's like getting enough protein and overall calories for me. That was my issue as well, because
Yeah.
you just get so full, right? It's so satiating. It's so nourishing that I'm like, I'm full. I'm good. I don't need to eat anymore, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, exactly. I'm curious to know, like, after your year, did you transition back because it was kind of hard to like maintain like strength or like your muscles and stuff?
Yeah, that was exactly. I actually did. I felt very weak. There were light thing, like picking up a bike and putting it
Mhm.
up on a curb. I was like, why was that so hard? That should not be hard at all. And it's interesting because I loved the results with the energy. Uh, and then there was another thing that was very interesting. I ate a lot of parsley. And if you look up parsley, one of the
Oh.
benefits of parsley is it's like an oral cleanser.
Uh-huh.
So literally 24 hours a day, I felt like I had just brushed my teeth
Wow.
all day long. It was just fresh all day because I had big bowls full of parsley every single day. Um, so it's, people watching this, is very beneficial, doing these leafy greens, and as to your
Mhm.
point about water, right? Very water rich foods. Uh, it's phenomenal. It's just, there for me, I think I couldn't find that balance. I couldn't find that balance. So it was like
Mhm.
not enough of that density for me. So
Yeah, gotcha.
yeah,
That makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah. But I like closing out the interviews with we're going big picture. So not even talking about necessarily health and wellness, but more like values and, different strategies that have helped you get to where you are right now. So let's say a university has called you in to do the valedictorian speech or the keynote speech at a graduation. And you're about to talk to the 21-year-olds who are about to graduate and, about kind of life lessons. What kinds of things would you tell them in a 1 to 2 minute motivational speech?
Ooh, I like this question. Okay. I would tell them that they are the greatest investment that they could ever pursue. And it all starts with you. Like once you work on yourself, then everything outside starts to fall into place. So like just like reading about personal development and really figuring out who you are and operate from that place. So if you don't know like what your passions are or what you want to do in your life, go travel the world, really figure out who you are and like what is really your greatest excitement in life and follow that. And don't listen to people who tell you to like choose the most logical choice or like the most safe choice. Really like your intuition is like your internal guidance system. So always follow that and always trust yourself and just fail forwards. Like failing is part of life and it's not a bad thing. It's bringing you closer to where you're meant to go. So yeah, and just don't take life too seriously. Life is meant to be fun. So yeah, have fun with it, enjoy the ride, and always just be present and yeah, just enjoy the now while you
Great.
can. So
Thank you for
yeah.
that. So
You're
Jackie,
welcome.
how can people get a hold of you? How social media, website? How can people get in touch with you about the water filters and things like that?
Yeah, so my Instagram is probably my best contact. It's Arise and Thrive. I talk a lot about like just inspirational life things and I like spirituality and health and wellness. So yeah, people can reach me on there or email me at jackie@ariseandthrive.co or my website's ariseandthrive.co. So
Great.
yes,
Well,
that's my
Jackie,
contact.
great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining me today on Health in the Real World.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for listening to the Health in the Real World show. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below. Visit mycorebalance.com to learn more.